Some changes may mean more movement on Silverback Landing, a rural housing incentive district here in Pittsburgh. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, spring storms tore through a Baxter Springs business. Now they say they're ready to reopen. And a federal bill might have an impact on a longtime four-state radio station.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Right now, a meeting is underway where the Pittsburgh City Commission is being asked to vote on a resolution that could lead to changes to an ongoing housing development project. This is KOIM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOIM Samantha Walker has more on why progress at the Silverback Landing has been delayed and how city staff hope these changes could mean more movement.
The Silverback Landing development started in 2018, creating middle to higher income housing in Pittsburgh. It's a reinvestment housing incentive district, also known as a RID. It's a state program which helps developers build infrastructure by reimbursing costs through property taxes.
I would say we have a need for all levels of housing. Our goal is to be able to provide that and get more houses on the market for people to buy.
Proposed changes to the development would include an extension to the RID by 10 years and the possible acquisition of the development to new owners. When Silverback Landing was first started in 2018, RIDs were called Rural Housing Incentive Districts and had a timeline of 15 years, but a state law change upped it to 25. This change would put Silverback Landing on track with other city incentive districts.
The Rural Housing Incentive District, or the RID district agreement, was between the city, the county, the school district, and the developer. Well, if there's a change to that, we need to bring that back through commission. But nothing else is changing. That phase one is remaining the same. We're just asking for another 10 years on the RID.
Silverback Landing is supposed to be a 3-phase project, but according to the city, progress was impacted by the pandemic and supply chain issues. Currently, only 22 out of the 60 planned homes for development have been built. RID funds go to the city before they're dispersed to developers of the project. So far, no RID funds have been sent out to the developers because not enough phase one work has been completed. As you can see behind me, there are homes that haven't been completed yet and roads need finished as well. The city hopes that by changing the ownership and development company, they may see more movement in the future.
Our goal is to build houses in Pittsburgh and to see this development come to fruition for the people that have purchased homes out there or the people that live in surrounding neighborhoods to get what they were promised. And so we're really hoping that this acquisition would do that.
She says a local nonprofit is working to acquire the property under the name Silverback Landing, LLC. The plan would be to use local companies to help further the development.
We would see a strong shift forward, get more builders out there, get more houses up, and more houses on the market for people to buy.
The Silverback Landing development isn't a new project for the city. Staff say it would be moving forward a project which already exists. The city also wouldn't be investing funds into it.
There is private funding coming into that, but this is not requiring or asking for any city funds.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOIM News.
Now tonight at 10, we're going to have more on how the City Commission votes on the Silverback Landing resolution. If the Commission passes that resolution tonight, a public hearing is planned for August. Some thunderstorms out there in parts of the area. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we started the day with some scattered showers and thunderstorms that lasted through about mid to late morning, and then most of the day has been dry until the past couple hours. One little cluster kind of dropping south, almost southwest, or actually kind of developing a little bit farther toward the west, but you can see it sliding south into Jasper County. Just good old summertime storms, nothing too strong, but still getting some wind gusts 40 upwards of 50. So getting into Oronogo, Webb City, Carthage, up toward Jasper, and then it gets a little stronger. You can see the lightning picking up near Pittsburgh. Could be a little bit of tiny hail embedded in eastern parts of Crawford County, and then heading over toward Liberal. But this whole cluster will most likely keep sinking south as we go through the next hour, and then once we lose the heating of the day, meaning the sun starts to set, these thunderstorms will die off. We'll talk about the rest of the week here in just a bit.
Catching a few. An early morning crash in Jasper County takes the life of a Carthage teen. Authorities responded to the crash at about 5 this morning at Prigmore and Cedar near Dunaweg. Troopers say the crash happened after a pickup failed to stop at a stop sign and traveled off the right side of the road. The driver then overcorrected, traveled off the left side of the road where the pickup overturned and struck a tree. The driver, 18-year-old Aiden Lambeth, died at the scene. In response to the crash, Carthage schools have activated their crisis response plan to offer support. On Thursday, from noon until 2, crisis team support will be available in the Carthage High School Media Center. They say counselors will also be available in the days ahead for anyone who might need someone to talk to. A Baxter Springs business says it's bouncing back from recent storms. 3.5 months ago, Sleepy Girls furniture got slammed by some nasty spring storms. Flooding ruined a good amount of merchandise, including many mattresses. Despite a lot of work still remaining, the store reopened for business today. The owner says the store should return to fully stocked in about a month. Big changes could soon be on the way for a longtime Pittsburgh radio station. KRPS has served the 4 states as the area's sole national public radio station for nearly 40 years. But a bill before federal lawmakers could soon mean changes, including to programming. If approved, the bill would strip funding for hundreds of public television and radio stations, including KRPS. The bill is scheduled to go before the Senate next week. It's already passed the House.
So NPR, last I heard, their budget from federal money specifically was 1%. This money comes to hundreds of public TV and radio stations across the country to spend how we see it needs to be spent, whether that's on salaries or programming, and then the kind of programming, upgrades or repairs for equipment here. And if you work in media, these things aren't cheap.
That there's a time we have to pick and choose what we're going to be paying for. And I think that's one of the things that's not necessary. I think that people can get media from so many different ways now. Everybody has a phone with multiple media outlets, and some of the needs that we had for public radio, public TV years ago just isn't there now.
KRPS raises funds through twice annual donation drives. That's in addition to receiving resources from Pittsburgh State's Foundation and underwriting. The station also receives about $23,000 annually from the state of Kansas. The Joplin Outlaws look to leave the Timberhogs in the dust this afternoon. John Dales has a preview of the Mid-America League's defending champs' latest challenge coming up in sports. But up first, extending a helping hand to a devastated community.
A local church organization says they've heard the cries of those Texans, and now they say they're on their way down there, and they say you can help also. I'm Lonnie Walton in Knoll, Missouri. I'll have that story coming.
A church in Knoll, Missouri steps up after witnessing the devastation left behind by that deadly flash flooding in Texas. Elk River Baptist Church is now on a mission, collecting everything from toiletries to baby food. And as KOIM's Lonnie Walton reports, they're not just sending help, they're delivering it themselves straight to the Lone Star State.
We had a disaster. Last year, a tornado hit North Arkansas.
Tammy Shoemate is a member of Elks Ridge Baptist Church. She says her church once faced a natural disaster. One way it was able to recover was from locals lending a hand.
We had people from all the surrounding states come and help support us in our time of need, so we are giving back.
Now Shoemate, along with her church members, say although they don't have any personal family or friends in the Lone Star State, they say it's more blessed to give than to receive.
I mean, we're all God's children, so our mission is to help those in need as a community, and not only in our community, but everything around is God's community.
Consider them our family, even though we're not there with them.
They also say those on the front lines need help also. That's why they're taking all kinds of donations, monetary or not.
Food, hygiene needs, deodorant, toothbrushes, toothpaste, whatever we can to help ease these people in their time of need.
Shoemate says that's what this congregation is all about.
Pantry efforts, we help our immediate community, but we also have a love and a passion to help others.
Members of the congregation says they're going to do whatever they can to touch these people, even if it's just sending up a prayer. Reporting in Knoll, Missouri, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
If you'd like to help, you should know we have a link to that church on our website, koamnewsnow.com. A little later, the Cards and Royals see action on the diamond tonight. John has a preview coming up in sports.
And we're going to see a little action with thunderstorms this evening. We'll look at that coming up. Well, of course, we had some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms out there during the morning hours, and then more have popped up over the past couple hours that are drifting south through the region. You can see they're not widespread, but we have this little cluster kind of pushing through southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas. Intense storms, typical summer-like storms kind of sinking south right below severe limits. We can't rule out a random severe thunderstorm, but a little bit of a hail core you can see just on the south side of Joplin, and then showers and thunderstorms kind of extending farther south into Joplin, also east of Carthage. Let's dig in just a little bit. So this cell is actually sinking south a little bit toward the south and to the west. So the heaviest rain just south of the bypass and the truck stop in Pittsburgh, and then working south toward Weir, Scammon, and eventually Columbus will get into this little cluster as well. If we look on the west side, even McCune, you guys may get clipped by the storm. A little bit weaker once you travel farther south and east, so it's just kind of choppy once you get down toward Carl Junction, Oronogo, Webb City, over toward Carthage. Picks up a little bit just north of Sarcoxy. Let's go a little farther south. Here's kind of on the east side of Joplin, a little thunderstorm just to the west of Diamond. Again, not anticipating much in the way of anything severe, but yeah, some strong storms dropping through the region. These will die off over the next couple hours once we lose that heating of the day. So then it's going to be pretty quiet for the rest of the overnight hours. Let me take you into Wednesday morning. Lower 70s to start. Quick warm up, mid 80s by noon. I think most of us during the afternoon, about 90 or 91 degrees. Notice again, one or two random little storms or clusters across the region. So very similar to what we are seeing today and also over the past couple days. I do want to watch a batch of thunderstorms that may try to get in here Thursday morning. I'm going to keep it dry for now, but we may get a few random thunderstorms to start the day on Thursday. Then we heat up again, hot, humid, 91, 92, 93 degrees by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. But our random thunderstorms, I mean, this has been the pattern this summer. This is going to stay the pattern as we go through the rest of the summer. But you can see kind of ominous looking sky with those thunderstorms kind of drifting into Joplin. So we are looking north and east from our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Sliding back through the 80s into the 70s, we'll bottom out near 70. A little cooler patch due to those thunderstorms from Pittsburgh, Joplin, Lamar over toward Carthage. Humidity's been higher. Dew points have been right around 70, 72 degrees. So if we look at our tracker, that makes us feel kind of muggy to soupy, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the next few days. So where you aren't seeing storms, look at this. We got heat indices, 97 to about 100 degrees, and they're going to be right back up there again as we go into Wednesday. Heat index kind of 95 to about 100 degrees. So hit and miss storms next couple hours, then again tomorrow. May have to put in a chance on Thursday morning, and then also a chance for storms Friday night. The weekend, hit and miss storms as well, and that will keep our temperatures down just a little bit. But same kind of trend we saw in June, stays relatively wet.
Yeah, we never go more than a few days, it seems, without at least some scattered thunderstorms.
Very true.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the first place Joplin Outlaws played their first game in a couple of days, and Missouri Southern Volleyball releases its 2025 regular season schedule. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
We are coming down the stretch of the 2025 summer collegiate baseball season. The Joplin Outlaws played their first game back in May. Now they're hoping to finish strong for the last couple of weeks of the regular season. 7 o'clock start tonight down in White Oak, Texas, as the Outlaws begin a 3-game series against the Piney Woods Timberhogs. This is a meeting of the first place and last place teams in the Mid-America League. We'll show you the current standings in a second. But Joplin did just lose 2 out of 3 to Texarkana on the road over the weekend. Here are those standings. Entering play tonight, the Outlaws have a 2.5 game lead on Abilene for first place. Sherman is only 3.5 games back of the Flying Bison. As it has been for most of the summer, there's a pretty big split between 3rd and 4th place. The top 4 teams will make the playoffs early next month. And once the Outlaws get finished with these 3 games down in Piney Woods, they return to the 4 states and they play 3 games up in Fort Scott at the La Roche Baseball Complex this weekend. That's against Texarkana, Friday through Sunday. And on Friday's game, we'll find out the name of Fort Scott's expansion team, which will play in the Mid-America League next summer. Missouri Southern Volleyball had a bit of a turbulent start to its offseason. Back in January, head coach Callie Carlisle resigned. Just a couple of months later, Kelly Richardson was hired as her replacement, but she then resigned after less than a week on the job, and former interim head coach Josh Moore has since assumed that position once again. Yesterday, we find out what the schedule will look like for Moore in his first full year directing the Lions as they release it on social media. They begin with 3 tournaments at Missouri S&T, Southwest Baptist, and Henderson State in September. Lions don't play at home until October 10th when they face Newman. Then they'll host Pitt State in Joplin the next afternoon. Afterward, the Lions go on a road trip to Washburn and Emporia State, then a non-conference matchup with Drury in Springfield, followed by 5 consecutive MIAA home matches and 2 on the road. Those are against Pitt State and Newman to close it out. Last season, the Lions finished just 6-22, and they did not qualify for the MIAA tournament. In pro sports, the Royals and Cardinals are each in action this evening. Kansas City's hoping to clinch its 2nd consecutive series victory and can do so tonight with a win over the Pirates. Royals hit 4 home runs and a 9-3 victory last night. Seth Lugo is their expected starting pitcher. He's got a 3-3 record with a sub-3 ERA in 9 appearances at Kauffman so far this year. Mitch Keller will pitch for the Pirates. Last time out, he threw 7 shutout innings against the Cardinals. That was on Wednesday. Redbirds just had last night off. They begin a series against the Nationals at Busch Stadium tonight. Sonny Gray will be on the hill for St. Louis. He's 5-1 at home this year and also has an ERA below 3 in those games. Nationals are in last place in the NL East. They just fired their GM Mike Rizzo and manager Davey Martinez on Sunday. Back to the Outlaws that I was mentioning earlier. I think a lot of people in the area are looking forward to that Fort Scott series and hearing the new name for that Fort Scott team.
Absolutely. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have more from the Pittsburgh City Commission as members consider a public hearing to extend housing incentives for development east of the Pitt State campus. Plus, concerns after the TikTok door kicking challenge spreads to Southwest Missouri neighborhoods. And the Joplin Spiva Center for the Arts puts out the call for veteran art. Those stories, a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Some thunderstorms in the area.
Yeah, very heavy rains just pushed through Pittsburgh. You can still see those kind of little pink cores on the county line of Crawford and to Cherokee. And then moderate rain once you get over into Joplin. But pretty good summertime thunderstorm kind of sinking south into Cherokee County.
The wet summer continues. Final sports notes.
I'll have score updates tonight on those Royals and Cardinals games. Royals especially have been playing good baseball in the last week or so.
Hope they can keep it up. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.